Hey everybody, Jabman025 here. Today I'm taking a look at my 100th Master Grade, the Zeta Plus C1 from the novel Mobile Suit Gundam Sentinel. This is also part of my build-off with Vegeta 8259, aka Henry. Let's have a look and see what I've got. First off, this entire kit will be hand-painted, using 2 brushes, fine point, and a flat, small flat. The paints I'm using are chrome silver, sky gray, clear red, semi-gloss black, gunmetal from Tamiya, and bar blue, and Upton dark gray from Polyscale. So everything you're about to see is hand-painted. Second off, when you first look at this kit, you're going to realize, wow, there are a lot of polycaps on this kit. There are a ton of polycaps. You don't use every single one on this tree, but you use a lot of them. But the second thing you're going to notice is this is one of those rare kits that almost demands customization. You're not getting a whole lot of colors. You're getting the light gray for the armor, you're getting the dark gray for the inner frame, and you're getting a little bit of blue and a little bit of white. But it's kind of plain. It kind of needs something. So what I did was I'm using a sky gray and a dark gray for the armor. I'm going to be alternating back and forth for that, and some blue, of course. And I'm going to be using gunmetal for the frame, the whole frame. You can see there on the elbow joints, on the shoulder joints, gunmetal, the whole thing has a nice shine to it. It does kind of give a metal look. And the hand, gunmetal, the whole darn thing. Now, a thing you're going to notice on this kit, whether you paint it or not, is that this kit has some of the tightest joints on any kit I've ever seen, Master Grade or otherwise. Even the fingers are tough to move. Fingers, wrists, elbows, everything is ridiculously tight on this kit, but there is a reason for that. Another neat feature are these cables here. This is like a polycap material, and they give you this strand here. This is kind of like a shoelace almost, and you're going to cut this into sections and put it on those cables. And they do give you a measuring guide, so bust out the ruler. And you're going to line them right up, and it kind of looks like cables running through the back of the leg, and that's kind of neat. Again, gunmetal through the whole thing. You're also going to have screws in this kit, primarily in the knees, but there's a couple other places. And again, this makes a kit that was already fairly tight even more so. You can see the feet. Feet originally came blue. I used this blue here, kind of darkened it just a little. Didn't need to give a second coat before I finish here, which I did. And again, gunmetal the whole frame. The sky gray I did use on these parts here at the bottom of the ankle. That was originally white. And the sky gray on the knee, that was originally in a dark gray. I wanted to break up the monotony of all the dark gray on this kit, so I changed the knee to a sky gray. Painted those cables on the left side of the leg. Why? Because I thought they would look neat. Armor it all up. There you go. Next up, the head on this kit. I went with a two-tone look on the head, a sky gray for just under the eyes, and most of the face is in a dark gray. Did a little bit of lining here, but not much. The eyes I went and painted with a semi-gloss black and then a clear red for the eyes. To get a nice glow from the back, I painted the back of the clear part in a silver. That gives it kind of a glow through. Does it work as well as the new Gundam Verka with the silver stickers? No, but it still looks pretty good. And again, I'm trying to get a real pop to this kit. I'm trying to make it stand out, so that clear red really does do that. More painting on the head. They give you transformable V-fin. They also give you a solid one-piece, but again, it doesn't transform. And that rubber V-fin is a pain in the butt to paint, let me tell you. Chromed out the gun barrels, sky gray on the side of the head. That was originally a blue, and it looked horrible. Black on the inside to kind of give that in-depth feature. Another thing you'll notice on the head is the horrible seam lines this kit has. There are just awful seam lines on this kit. Again, some blue on the back, kind of a Delta Plus-ish. I didn't want to really copy Delta Plus head to toe, but I wanted to kind of get that theme. I was trying to go for like an updated Zeta Plus. What if the Zeta Plus was made today? The pilot figure, went ahead and painted him, which I rarely do, but again, this is build-off. Got to pull out every trick I got. Painted him, sky gray, some dark gray for the helmet, and for like a seat belt almost, kind of like a pilot seat belt. Painted the shoes and the gloves black, and the chair in gunmetal. Put that all together. Again, the blue chest, kind of reminiscent of the Delta Plus. Gunmetal and black on the vents on the front. And I went in and painted the waist section in a sky gray, again, to kind of break up that monotony. I don't want to have dark gray running all over this thing. and it is a very heavy dark gray kit. So that sky gray kind of helps break that up. And slowly coming together. Put those legs on there, hooks in, and we have this front piece cover up. The waist section, not much there, but there is some, and he's looking kind of skinny, but he has to fill out a little bit still. Add on the arms, very small shoulder armor on this kit, which helps with the transformation actually. And some gunmetal pieces on the back that'll connect the wings. Back skirt armor fairly simple. They did have these kind of two screw looking things, so I went ahead and painted them gunmetal just because, I don't know, thought it looked neat. And he's slowly starting to fill out, but again, still kind of looks kind of dinky, but we got to add on that backpack, and that makes a difference. As so. Backpack consists of the wings and a tail section, also the side skirt armor, a couple of cannons that hook directly into the leg and not really into any kind of skirt that goes around. Painted the cannons gunmetal and the rest in a dark gray. The wings on the back I did for a two-tone. Now this was, I'm not going to lie to you, tricky. I free-handed this, and I probably should have taped it off, but what you going to do? It kind of gives that pinstriping on the wings, and that looks a heck of a lot better when it's transformed. You'll see in a second. The engines, thrusters, gunmetal with some silver for the actual cones themselves. On the tail section, they have this band that goes around it. They actually give you a sticker for the original kit of a yellow, and I have no idea why there was that one piece of yellow in that entire kit, so I went ahead and used the navy, or the dark blue, rather. And you can see this kit is stable. He's not falling over. This is because of those ridiculously tight joints. It really does take some effort to knock this guy over, and considering you couldn't get the Zeta or the Zeta 2.0 to stand up for anything, that's not bad. Beam Saber, pretty simple, nothing really to write home about. Single handle, doesn't really hold it that well, which is a little surprising. And a clear blue blade, which is kind of neat. You don't see that too often. You can put those in the side skirts, slide them in there. They're a pain in the butt to get in and out. But quite frankly, I'm probably never going to be using them, so I'm not that broken up about it. What I'm going to be using most of the time is this cool beam smart gun. This is a big old beam smart gun, and it's a really nice one to boot. Now I did some painting here, chrome silver on the scopes at the front, clear red all over the place. They give you stickers for pretty much all this, but I went and painted it. Again, that red really does pop on this kit, especially on the dark colors. Use some more blue down here at the hatches, that is where their landing gear will go for the transformation. And the whole barrel in the gunmetal, which was kind of tricky to paint, but it looks really good. And again, you get those two fins on the gun, which I did the sky gray on as well. Little latches that will connect into the arm here, so it really doesn't hold this thing as much as it does connect into the arm. And remember those ridiculously tight joints I talked to you about? Well, here's another reason why. It can hold this thing up without issue at all, and it's still balanced well. That surprised the heck out of me. When I saw this gun, I was like, there is no way it's holding this gun. Boy, was I wrong. It can hold it easily, and this is a big gun. But those ridiculously tight joints keep everything stable and solid. There is a second handle that pops up from underneath these wings, which you don't really need to use, but it's there if you want to go to the two-handed look. But to my surprise, one arm is more than enough to hold this thing up any pose you want. The downside is the legs really can't move around a whole lot unless you get it off an action base. Now the decals on this kit. I took one look at the decals and I knew something right off the bat. They stink. They're not awful. I've seen worse, but boy have I seen better. So, I ordered some aftermarket decals from Samuel Decal. A lot better, a lot bigger, and gives a lot more pop to them. They're all in white. It's another reason I went with that dark gray. The white really pops on a darker kit, and the original light gray wouldn't have looked as good, but I had this dark gray, the shoulders, the gun there, warning labels all over the place, little markers all over the place. Again, more warning in red, again, pops, makes it pop a little bit more. You get this big old marker on the gun, it says Beam Smart Gun. Get this giant one on the tail, Transformable Mobile Suit, MSV006. The Transformable Zeta logo you see pretty much on any Zeta kit. And another really nice one on the other wing, as soon as I can get a picture of it. There we go. Karaba Air Force MSZ00. There you go. That looks a lot better when it's transformed. Another logos on the legs, Gundam system, more warning labels. Like I said, the decals on this kit aren't bad, but they sure aren't good either. And again, stable, no problems. Which for a Zeta kit is fairly impressive. There's one problem with him when he's standing is that gun is so friggin' huge it's kind of hard to find a place for him. Now, the other thing the Zeta can always do is transform. There you go into Wave Rider mode. This would usually be the point where I start complaining and whining about how horrible the transformation is on these kits. I'm not going to do that now. Brace yourselves, folks. This is a Zeta kit that transforms very easily. Okay, take a deep breath. Realize what I just said. This transforms very easily. It's a little time consuming, but all Zetas are. But everything works. Everything hinges together. You can follow the instructions to the T. No confusion, no complication. This works great, and it looks good to boot. I can scarcely believe what I say. This Wave Rider mode is easy to transform into and looks pretty badass. Right there is a huge plus for this kit. Getting any other Zeta kit into Wave Rider mode will drive you mad. This, no problem, good transformation. Final thoughts on this kit. I'm giving this kit a thumbs up. Without my customization, this is a good kit, but it's kind of a weird kit in that the parts that are good are really good, and the parts that are bad suck. It's just that simple. There's no real middle ground with this kit. It's either great or it's awful. Good accessories, a good look, kind of does need some sort of customization since it's so plain. Not a whole lot of color variation, and the decals stink, but lots of nice accessories, good looking kit. Posability options are limited, but if you get in the air, that helps. So, if you want one, pick it up. Good kit. Just realize there are some flaws here. It's not perfect. Well, gang, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks to Henry for putting up with me in this build-off. We had some fun. Did a little trash talking just for kicks. We're friends. It's all in good fun. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think of the paint job. Let me know what you think of the kit. I look forward to reading your responses, and stay tuned for more reviews. I'll see you next time. Oh, and one more thing. Henry let me know that he would be uploading his review a little earlier than mine, and I was okay with that. I knew I'd be uploading my review today. What I did not know is that he was going to be using the time in between the two for intimidation. You see, when I went to work this morning, I found this guy sitting next to my car staring at me. He's trying to use his gun dog for intimidation. Well, you know what, Henry? You know what? It's working. Please call him off. This thing is creepy as hell.